The Hidden Battlefield 2026 World Cup Base Camps. Look, when we think of the World Cup, we instantly picture those roaring crowds, the dramatic goals, and that glorious trophy lift, right? But the truth is actually a whole lot more complicated. The 2026 tournament is basically a massive logistical war. And guess what? The opening battles have already begun. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack the hidden, off-pitch strategies that will ultimately crown the next world champion. 104. That is the magic number. We're talking about an unprecedented 48 national teams playing a staggering 104 matches. And they aren't just playing in one country. They're spread across the massive expanses of Canada, Mexico, and the United States. We are talking extreme climates, multiple time zones, high-altitude arenas. It is an absolute gauntlet. So how exactly do you conquer the largest World Cup in history? Well, hoisting that trophy requires way more than just putting 11 superstars on the grass. It literally demands a masterclass in geography, sports psychology, and most importantly, base camp tactics. For 6 grueling weeks, your team base camp is everything. It's your fortress, it's your laboratory, it is your ultimate sanctuary. And the world's heavyweights, they are deploying totally distinct tactical philosophies to survive this thing. There is absolutely no one-size-fits-all approach here. Some are prioritizing high-performance hubs, giving them immediate access to elite sports science and MLS tech. Others, they demand gated privacy, secluded historic estates for total security and zero media distractions. And then you have the teams playing the map, setting up strategic hubs to drastically reduce travel fatigue by staying right next to their match venues. Let's dive into how these giants are actually laying their traps. Let's start with the high-performance obsessives, Argentina and England. The reigning world champions and the perennial contenders looked at this massive North American map and independently decided to do the exact same thing, turn the American Midwest into their own elite sporting laboratories. Just picture the scene. An Airbus touches down in Missouri after a grueling 11-hour, 5,500-mile journey from Buenos Aires. And get this, the flight number? AR-1978. That's a direct homage to Argentina's very first World Cup victory. Oh, and it features Lionel Messi's iconic number 10 right there on the tail. Boom! Argentina has officially landed in Kansas City to defend their crown. Their setup is just absolutely clinical. They are locked down behind heavy security fences at the Origin Kansas City Riverfront Hotel, giving them exclusive access to the elite sports science recovery labs over at the Sporting Kansas City Training Center. But here is the absolute masterstroke. Their very first group match is literally right next door at Arrowhead Stadium. Think about that. 0 travel miles to match day 1. 0 transit fatigue. They just step out of their fortress and walk straight onto the pitch. It's brilliant. Now, moving on to total buyout England's absolute control. Their Midwest Command Center leans heavily into extreme isolation. Now, while they share the general Kansas City area with Argentina, the Three Lions approach honestly borders on obsession. See, the English FA didn't just book a few hotel rooms. Nope. They executed a ruthless, exclusive 54-room buyout of the boutique inn at Meadowbrook, giving them quick access to top-tier natural grass pitches at Swope Soccer Village. But to guarantee an utterly impenetrable bubble, they actually ordered the hotel to completely shut down its highly popular public restaurants for the entire duration of the tournament. Yeah, you heard that right. Total lockdown. Absolute peak focus. Next up, we have the fortresses of total isolation, Germany and Spain. For these European giants, the bright lights of major MLS cities were seen as a total liability. They wanted to just vanish into highly unique, secluded environments to control every single variable. And the philosophy here is actually really simple. Just listen to Germany's head coach, Julian Nagelsmann. He pointed out the vast distances of the tournament and said their goal is to avoid any additional journeys in their daily training routine. He wanted a North American base camp that provided the peace and privacy that mirrored their home ground. And man, they've found an absolute masterpiece. So Germany is isolating down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we're not talking about some standard chain hotel here. They've secured the historic 55-acre Grayland Estate. It is a sprawling, totally private woodland manor. They paired this setup with the immaculate collegiate pitches at Wake Forest University. And in this crazy, brilliant stroke of serendipity, the local university teams, the Demon Deacons, actually shared Germany's iconic black and gold colors. I mean, you can't write this stuff. It's a completely bespoke, custom-fit fortress. Let's look at Spain's tactical blackout in Tennessee. Now, as the top-ranked team in the world, La Roja has a massive target on their backs. So, to completely escape the relentless global media glare, They've gone and chosen the most unorthodox location imaginable, a high school. Yeah, they are setting up at the Baylor School in Chattanooga. By taking over this super prestigious private boarding school right on the Tennessee River, Spain has secured themselves a completely self-contained, insulated campus perimeter. No prying eyes, no media circus, just an absolute tactical blackout. And honestly, choosing Chattanooga is a total logistical masterstroke. While rival heavyweights are going to be battling chaotic airports, exhausting TSA lines, and multi-time zone cross-country flights, Spain, they'll simply board a luxury coach. Their opening matches are in Atlanta, which is just a serene 2-hour drive straight down the highway. In a tournament where recovery is literally currency, bypassing airports entirely is a massive, massive physical advantage. All right, let's move to our final powerhouse, East Coast Strategic Command, Brazil. The ultimate tournament favorites have made a highly calculated play for absolute East Coast dominance. They are anchoring themselves right outside the biggest media market in the entire world, keeping just enough distance from the chaos to maintain lethal concentration. Setting up shop in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, Brazil has secured the brand new, state-of-the-art Columbia Park facility, developed by the New York Red Bulls. So they basically inherit this world-class MLS-caliber infrastructure right alongside super quiet accommodations at the Ridge Hotel. It's perfectly positioned, far enough from the deafening noise of Manhattan, but close enough to strike when it matters. And this East Coast positioning gives Brazil a massive physical edge when it comes to the travel fatigue factor. They have hyper-local, super short trips to MetLife Stadium for their group stage matches. Now contrast that with Germany for a second. Despite their beautiful woodland estate, the Germans have to endure a grueling 1,000-mile cross-country flight to Houston, Texas just for their opener. Over a compressed 6-week tournament, that kind of air mileage really settles deep into the legs of the players. So the off-pitch war is officially fought. But who will win on the grass? The hotels are booked, the pitches are manicured, the travel logistics are totally locked in. But when the summer of 2026 finally arrives, which of these massive logistical victories will actually translate to dominance on the field? Will it be Argentina's zero-mile convenience, Spain's tactical blackout, or maybe Brazil's East Coast command? The ultimate test of these strategies will be decided under the lights. So when the whistle blows, keep your eyes on the logistics, because they might just crown the next world champion.